In this episode of The Travel Bug, I'm starting my exploration of the colourful and chaotic Taiwan. It might only be a tiny island, but there's no shortage of amazing sights, fun and excitement to be had. I'm on a mission to see all the major attractions in Taipei before heading into the countryside to get a taste of rural life. This place is technologically advanced, yet highly traditional, and it's a country of densely populated cities, but everywhere you go you can find pockets of pristine nature. Taiwan really is a destination where you can expect the unexpected. Taiwan was once known as Formosa, which means beautiful island in Portuguese. It's home to 23 million people, spread mostly along the west coast in sprawling cities. Now, what this city lacks in size, it makes up for in intensity. There's a constant buzz of energy, and around every corner there's something new and exciting to discover.
Taiwan has had a turbulent but colourful past. It's a unique place with influences from Chinese and Japanese culture and traditional Confucianism. It's also a country of contrast that clings to century-old beliefs while forging ahead as a highly developed global power. Now, over the next week, I want to find out what makes Taiwan tick, and there's no better place to do that than right here in the capital, Taipei.
Pretty much everyone that travels to Taiwan will start their adventure in the capital. It's a massive city that's alive with activity. The noise of traffic is constant and the air is thick with exhaust fumes. But what else would you expect in a metropolis of almost 7 million people? The first thing you'll notice is the incredible number of scooters on the streets. They seem to be the most popular mode of transport here, and the buzzing noises of their motors as everyone takes off from the lights makes Taipei sound like a giant racetrack.
Most major cities around the world have a particular building that stands out above the rest. Sydney has Centrepoint Tower, Paris has the Eiffel Tower, and New York has the Empire State Building. Well, here in Taipei, they have their own architectural masterpiece, Taipei 101.
Despite there being numerous beautiful temples in Taipei, it's this modern landmark skyscraper that stands out as the most visually spectacular building in the city. Not only for the sheer size of it, by the way, there are 101 floors, but also for the grand design of the facade. There's symbolism behind every part of the structure. The 101 floors represent several things, among which there's the high ideals of going one better than 100, a traditional number of perfection. Then there's the 8 segments of the main tower, each divided into 8 floors, the number 8 being associated with prosperity and good fortune in Chinese cultures. Taipei 101 is full of engineering innovations, starting right at the bottom by having the world's fastest elevators. At the top, you're greeted by expansive views across the metropolis. You would hope for some pretty nice vistas from what was once the world's tallest building. It was really interesting to see how the city has sprawled into the surrounding hills, and that while Taipei might be a modern urban centre, there's still a sense of incompleteness about it. I mean, for example, the rooftops and structures look to be a little weathered, and there isn't the same detailed finish to them you get in a lot of other contemporary cities. Suspended from the ceiling inside the building is a 660 metric ton steel pendulum. Its purpose is to gently sway during large gusts of wind. This in turn offsets the building's movements. It also adds another world record to the list, because there's nowhere on Earth where you can find a bigger one of these things. There's also 2 smaller ones at the top of the spire, each around 6 tons. Their job is to protect against damage to the structure during strong wind gusts. Now, keep in mind, Taiwan regularly gets pounded by typhoons. I have to say, I would not want to be up here during one of those. The engineering behind it is incredible. and looking at it made me wonder how they got the thing up here. Bet these guys are thinking the same thing too.
Now this is a great idea. What you do is use your Easy card, you swipe it on the sensor, you can take the bike, you can go sightseeing all around the city, and you can leave it at one of the 11 stations that are dotted all around the CBD. It is so simple. Every city should have one of these.
First, I should explain what Easy cards are. They're like a prepaid debit card that you buy credits for, and then you can use them to catch public transport, ride the bikes, and for various other tourist activities in Taiwan. Everyone gets one for free when they arrive in the country, and they actually come with a small amount of credit already on them. The U-bikes are an initiative to get people active and reduce pollution in Taipei. They're great because for next to nothing you can hop on one to go between parts of the city, and then leave the bike at the nearest lock-up station for someone else to ride. It's brilliant! That brings me to the other modes of transport available to travellers. There's no shortage of reliable and inexpensive taxis, there's a really good bus system, then there's always the railway. When you enter one of the major stations, the thousands of people make it pretty obvious this is how the majority of locals get around. Despite the masses, it's all very civilised, and the signage makes it relatively simple to work out where to go.
It's pretty chaotic here, but it's really easy to work out where to go. Everything's colour-coded, but you know, in saying that, I'll probably get lost anyway. Excuse me.
For my first time in a Taiwan train station, I think I did pretty well. I managed to find the bathrooms, the ticket booth, and have a good look around. The one thing I struggled to get to, despite having a very detailed map, was my platform. But hey, that's all part of the adventure. And thanks to one friendly local that saw me looking a bit bewildered, I did eventually get to the right place. That's one thing about Taipei. If you look a little lost, someone will come up and help you.
Taipei is a city of 2.3 million people, and because it's the end of the week, there'll be around about 1.6 million people on the train today. But you never know, because it's really efficient, really quiet, and it's the best way to get around.
The trains are a lot like those in Japan. They're modern, clean, and everyone crams in. Next stop, the political heart of the country. Conversations about politics are usually something best avoided. There's always the risk of sounding a bit ignorant or even offending someone with your beliefs. The problem is, everyone has an opinion about it, regardless of how much we really do know. But in Taiwan, it would be remiss of you not to ask a few questions about the political history here. It's a country whose people and culture have been moulded by its turbulent past. From the early conflicts with the Japanese in the 1600s to the tension with China that still remains today. The political landscape of Taiwan is a fascinating story.
This is the political heart of Taiwan, and has been since 1895. It's named after Kai-shek, who was the first president. Now, he came here from China in 1949 and pretty much brought about the modernization of Taiwan. Now, this whole area symbolizes freedom to the people here. And to be honest, you can't come to a country like Taiwan that's had such a fascinating political history and not visit a site like this and learn a little bit about it.
President Chiang Kai-shek died on April 5th, 1975. And on the 5th anniversary of his passing, this magnificent memorial was officially opened. Chiang was a political and military leader in China and was an influential member of the Nationalist Party called the KMT. In 1928, he successfully led the Northern Expedition to defeat warlords in China's north and help unify the country. Chiang also led China in the Second Sino-Japanese War, during which the nationalist government's power severely weakened, but his prominence grew. The nationalists then engaged in a long-standing civil war with the Communist Party of China, and after the Japanese surrender in 1945, Chiang attempted to eradicate the communists. But ultimately, with support from the Soviet Union, the nationalists were defeated, forcing them to retreat to Taiwan. The government still tried to take back mainland China, though it never did, and Chiang ruled the island with an iron fist until his death. Today, feelings towards Chiang are mixed. To some, he's a military hero and responsible for the creation of modern-day Taiwan, while to others, he was the one responsible for losing China to the communists and perceived as being a selfish and corrupt leader. Whatever your perception of him is, there's no doubting the impact he's had not only on the history of China and Taiwan, but on the culture of those that live here today. They're an independent, confident and proud people that have forged ahead over the past 50 years to build a progressive and wealthy nation. The large bronze statue of a smiling Chiang Kai-shek, seated and wearing traditional Chinese dress, creates a sense of prominence and pride, and it could almost be viewed as a representation of Taiwanese independence. Amidst the chaos of Taipei is the Xingtian Temple. Despite its appearance, it's a relatively recent addition to the city, having been built in the middle of the 20th century. Now, if you've watched other episodes of The Travel Bug, you probably would have noticed I like to learn a bit about the religions of the countries I visit. In this instance, I discovered that the people of Taiwan follow a variety of faiths, including Buddhism, Confucianism and Taoism. And this temple embraces all of them, acting as a place of worship where locals can pray and make offerings to the gods. Many of those that come here do so during their lunch breaks at work, but it's on the weekends that it comes alive as thousands pass through the gates.
The people coming here to give their fear and shock to the god. And these ladies are doing on behalf of the god, the Guan Gong, to pick up people's fear from their body so that they can go home safe, feel comfortable, yes.
So that something's happened to them, they've got scared.
Yes.
They come here and they bless them and it takes the fear away.
Yes, that's right, that's right. They are doing that on behalf of the god Guan Gong.
Guan Gong.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Mama, yeah, I will do it.
You go.
first.
Okay, you go first. Oh.
Chen Meiqing. Morgan, now it's your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, take off your bag.
Take off my bag.
Yes. And tell the lady your name.
Morgan.
Okay, now we are worshiping, starting from worshiping the heaven God first. Tell him who we are, why we are here.
English is okay?
English is okay, yes, of course. 1, 2, and 3.
Now we put it.
Yeah, put 1 incense into the pot.
Every religion has its unique practices and a belief system that reflects the country's history and superstitions. For most of the people of Taiwan, core values they live by are enlightenment through self-awareness and the pursuit of a peaceful society. Back into the streets, and I was confronted by another example of the local religion, Chinese New Year celebrations. Throughout the period of mid-January to late February, there are constant, seemingly ad hoc parades and parties, each of them featuring howling music, amazing performances by guys dressed as various gods and deities, and the customary use of fireworks. Obviously, there aren't strict rules regarding public safety here. These little snapshots of the local culture are the sort of experiences I tend to remember most fondly. It's not often you're walking around the streets of a city and you get surrounded by a parade full of colour and noise. This particular procession of performers, carts and musicians snaked its way through the back streets of Taipei for about half a kilometre. It was lots of fun, but it was so noisy. Not far from the Xingtian Temple is another uniquely Asian experience. Fortune telling. I expected it to be dark and mysterious. After all, someone did say the fortune tellers were underground.
This fortune telling is a wisdom from our ancestors. Yeah, most of Chinese people, we have one life chart. That chart will telling us all the things gonna happen related to us.
And this what the fortune tellers here do that for the Chinese people?
Yes.
How do they do it?
During the specific time, like we would like to change our job or we are going to get married, normally we will go for a fortune teller to consult for the good luck and maybe choose up a good day, a better day for doing the important things.
Really?
Yeah.
But how does the fortune teller actually do that?
You only need to give them your birth year, month, day, and time. And they're gonna make one life chart for you. And it will tell you everything about you, including your parents, your property, your education, your marriage, even your children. We're all telling you on one single chart.
And can I have a go?
And very consultative. Would you like to try?
I like this lady. She's got a nice robe on.
She seems very popular.
Yeah, and yeah. So what's she doing now?
She's now calculating according to your 8 words to figure out your life chart.
So from all the numbers I gave her here,
Yes, your year,
day.
month, date, and the birth time.
男士他很聪明哈，很聪明，很正直的人。
You are a decent and very clever person.
很有责任
She
心
said you're responsible.
不管男的跟女的都一样，要有肉，要有
Well, so far so good. Everything she's been saying has made me seem like a pretty decent bloke. I think I like her. And now, let's hear about my love life.
我可以帮他看跟他合不合。
Do you have a girlfriend now?
No, I don't.
还没有啊，对对。
他的结婚点32到36岁。
A married point will be fought on the 32 years old till 36.
So I'm going to get married in the next 4 years. Wow.
长得很帅哦。
You are handsome and your girlfriend will be very, very pretty.
Well, that's good. Will she be funny?
很有趣吗？他会很有趣吗？
有会很有
Yes,
趣。
yeah.
对，跟他很有默契，而且会顾家。
It's very home caring.
对，身高也会蛮高的。
And should be a tall girl.
其实他有带头
Tall as
发
you.，
他这个男孩子有带头发。
Can I give her a hug? It was great.
他可以给你拥抱一下吗？可以啊。
You're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
加油哈！
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
谢谢你啊！
谢谢。
谢谢。
Oh, that was great.
With my future mapped out for me on a piece of paper, I walked away with only one question. Where's that mysterious woman I'm expected to marry?
I've come across town to the National Palace Museum. It's one of the must-dos when you're in Taipei. There's so much to see. Oh, you could easily spend a couple of days here.
The National Palace Museum has a permanent collection of over 600,000 pieces of ancient Chinese artifacts and artworks, making it one of the largest in the world. The collection encompasses over 8,000 years of Chinese history, and most of the pieces were collected by China's ancient emperors. This place has the same original roots as the Palace Museum, which is located inside the Forbidden City in China. This priceless collection was shipped to Taiwan during the Chinese Civil War to prevent it falling into the hands of the communists. One of the most prized possessions of the museum is the jadeite cabbage. It's a small sculpture that was carved from a single piece of half-white, half-green jadeite that contained numerous imperfections, such as cracks and discoloured blotches. Now, these flaws were incorporated into the sculpture and became the veins in the cabbage stalk and leaves. It's considered a representation of female virtue, with the white stalk symbolising purity, the leaves denoting fertility, and insects representing children. This tasty-looking pork representation has been aptly named the meat-shaped stone. Along with the jadeite cabbage, it's one of the 3 treasures of the Palace Museum. There are countless other handmade artworks, all with intricate detail and meanings beyond their physical form. Many of the pieces have come from the personal collections of prominent figures from ancient China, and through the centuries, they found their way into the hands of collectors that housed the pieces in the Forbidden City before being smuggled out of China to Taiwan. One such piece is the Mao Gong Ding, the third of the 3 treasures I mentioned earlier. This bronze work, known as a ding, belonged to Mao Gong, who was a relative of the ruler of the Zhou dynasty. The government of the time was incompetent, so the emperor ordered Mao Gong to rectify matters. the ruler sent him ceremonial articles, a chariot, horses and weapons. Mao Gong cast the ding to record the event and to express his gratitude.
Wow, that is the size of an egg.
Other amazing works that are housed in the National Palace Museum includes intricately carved miniature ornaments shaped from pieces of ivory. Take a look at this piece. I know what you're thinking, it's a pretty impressive bit of lace. Well, guess what? It's actually made from ivory. The finite detail of this handmade ornament would leave the most skilled craftsman of today gobsmacked. I mean, how on earth did someone have the patience and the steady hand to painstakingly carve such perfection? But I've saved the most mind-blowing piece for last. This multi-layered ball of ivory consists of several freely moving spheres. The incredible thing is, it was carved from a single piece of ivory and there are no joints. So what I can't work out is, how did the generations of artisans that made this piece get it done? Leaving the museum, I came across another example of how fanatical the Taiwanese people can be. In a tiny park in the middle of the city, there was a group of guys with the sort of cameras you usually see at a major sporting event. They were here in one of the few patches of green in Taipei, taking photos of birds. Who would have thought? It was amazing to watch as they excitedly clicked away when a bird bounced its way out of the bushes and hopped onto a stick they'd placed some seed on. Such is their passion for bird watching, they can spend entire days just waiting for the moment when their prey flies into frame. I wish I had that sort of patience.
Dumplings are probably the most popular dish in Taiwan. They're definitely my favourite. And this is supposed to be the best dumpling restaurant in Taipei. Wait till you get inside. It's chaos.
Din Tai Fung is the most famous dumpling restaurant in the country. It has a bit of a celebrity status about it, and it packs out with hungry locals every lunchtime. As far as dumplings go, here you are spoiled for choice, with every type of these tasty packets of flavour made fresh on site.
I'm actually allowed in the kitchen. I can't wait to find out how the dumplings are made. Look how many people there are. I had no idea it took this many people to make dumplings. Everyone's got their own little task. One man's putting the mince in, another one's putting the vegetables in, one man's rolling it all out, and one man's doing the folding, making the dumpling, and putting it in the little steam box. This is amazing.
It's a genuine production line in here, and it kind of has to be. They turn out literally thousands of dumplings every sitting. With the demand being so high, these guys don't stop for the best part of a day. But while they might be making them at breakneck pace, there's still an attention to detail to ensure each of the dumplings are identical.
Oh, like that?
Yes, here.
Oh, in there, okay. Pinch it, okay. Pull it and turn. Pull it and put that meat in there, turn. Pull it yeah, look, I'm getting it.
Oh,
not very good though. Pull it in and oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, look at my dumpling. It's terrible. Can I put that one in there? They're steaming them. It's the last phase and then I get to eat them. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, thank you. Oh, there's my one. All right. Here's my dumpling. It may not look as nice as theirs. Oh, but it does smell good. Cheers, boys. Hot.
It might have tasted nice, but boy, it was hot. At least the guys in the kitchen got a good laugh out of it, though.
Thank you very much. Shishir. Woohoo! Wow. Dumplings. Oh, wow. Shishir. More food. Oh, right. 2 sets of dumplings.
The food in Taiwan is pretty awesome. The flavours are fresh, and most of the meals involve a lot of small dishes, rather than one large serving.
More.
The meals are also fairly healthy, which explains why everyone is so slim.
Far out. More.
Yeah, more.
Okay. Share. Thank you, I will. Awesome.
The only thing that beats a good dumpling is 30 of them. I did leave a few for the crew though. Just a few. With a belly full of food, I went for a walk to try and burn a few calories. Now I'd like to say that the fresh air was great for digestion, but the bouquet of car exhaust was pretty horrible. Although the noise and excitement of the street did distract me from the discomfort of my bloated stomach. One day I'll learn not to eat so much. While roaming the streets, I came across this place and figured, why not treat myself? Little did I know that Taiwanese massages are a bit on the firm side.
I was walking past the store and I just had to come in. I've come in for a foot massage, which obviously starts at the shoulders. I'm not complaining. It's so good.
I might not have been complaining yet, but give me a few minutes and watch as the pleasure slowly turns to pain.
Oh, Siobhan, that is awesome. Don't think I've ever had someone towel my feet off before. Yum. Oh. Ow. It tickles. No, it's okay, it just tickles. It tickles. Oh, it tickles. She's got the strongest hands. Oh. Oh. Oh, she did that on purpose. Ah, not too hard. Oh, Siobhan, that's just me, no! Oh, that was great. Basically, for the price of lunch, I got a foot massage and a shoulder rub. You can't beat that.
After a few days in the city, it was time to get some respite in the countryside. So I hit the road to the mountainous area on the outskirts of Yilan, about 2 hours from Taipei. The drive took me from the seemingly endless high-rises of the Big Smoke and into parts of the country where the urban sprawl is gradually encroaching on what was once the breadbasket of Taiwan. It was really fascinating to see all the industrial developments and low-rise buildings surrounded by rice paddies, with people tending to them in a traditional manner that's been handed down through generations of farmers. The pace of life in the rural parts of Taiwan is just like any other country in the world. The people are much more relaxed and appreciate the simpler things. Because they earn a living from the land, they have a far greater appreciation for it. So, while there might be buildings, roads and traffic dissecting the fields, there's no rubbish or waste left to lie that can pollute the soil. The locals are also really friendly and don't mind if you pull over and take a few photos. These intensely farmed plots of land are a great example of how the Taiwanese make use of every inch of space available to them. I guess you'd have to when there's 23 million people squashed into such a small area. Embracing the life of a farmer, I had an early start to the day. The place I'd found my way to is called Shangri-La Leisure Farm. It's a piece of traditional rural life that has been maintained as a slice of the old world, where city folks and international visitors can discover what life is like for those that live on the land. Think of it as a bit of a recreation area for city dwellers. A highlight of staying here is the opportunity to take a tour of the property and get hands-on experience of farming. Even though a lot of tourists come here, it's still a real working property. So for a genuine slice of Taiwan, it's definitely worth a visit. Showing me around was Leon. He might be young and part of Taiwan's tech-savvy youth, but he's also very passionate about the importance of keeping a connection with the land and the traditional practices of his forefathers. It's easy to see why Leon loves working here, because morning on Day One Mountain is a special time of day. Plus, you can get plenty of exercise.
Leon, do you think you're losing your culture?
Yes, I believe it, because nowadays the farmers are selling their lands.
Why are they selling their land for?
Because nowadays the young people don't want to work in the farm. They think it is hard working.
So they want to work in the city.
That's right.
As opposed to working on the farm.
Yes.
It's hard work.
And then our farms is trying to keep the culture and like show people how we do it in the ancient times.
Do people come here, young people come here and see how the farm works, then think,
Yes.
I want to be a farmer? Is that
Yes.
happen? So a lot of people come here and enjoy it and actually want to become farmers?
Yes.
Did you grow up in the city or did you grow up on a farm?
I grew up in the city.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And what made you want to work on the farm?
I think it is an interesting job, so that's why I'm here to experience how do I pick the fruit and to see how the fruit grows.
And what do you do here?
I'm in an activity affair, so I will show people how to do the DIYs.
Okay.
Okay.
You teach them how to make crafts and,
Yes.
and how to pick fruit and things like that?
And that's right. And as well, we have an activity at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I will be the host.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent. And you have a lot of people working here? I can see someone working out in the field.
Oh, actually, that's our boss.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Can we go and meet him?
No problem.
Oh, cool.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. This way?
Yeah.
So, Leon, what are these plants?
Oh, these are the dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit.
Yeah, we got 2 species. One of them is the black pulp, P-U-L-P, pulp.
Pulp.
Pulp. Yeah, 2 kinds, 2 colors.
Are they from
From
Taiwan?
Mexico. They are from Mexico.
So the fruit grows,
Grows at the end of the trunk.
so it grows about out of here.
Yeah, right here. That's
And
right.
You just cut it off, or
No, you just spin it and then you force down.
and it's
Wow. Stink.
being a cactus, it would be spiky.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
The life of a farmer is pretty tough, but the backdrop here would make it a little more pleasant. They've also made a big effort to make it comfortable for visitors that stay here. After all, when you've spent the day working on the land, you need a comfy room to relax and recover in before heading out to take part in the evening activities. When the sun sets, the fun and games begin. And in keeping with the theme of traditional practices, all the nighttime charades are based on games and activities from back when things were a little simpler and seemingly crazier. But there's also an educational element to everything you do here. So while you're having loads of fun, you're also learning a little about Taiwanese culture.
I'm getting better.
And of course, there's a food element.
These are really quite beautiful. What they're doing is they write their wishes on here, and they let the lantern go later on, and it takes their wishes up to heaven.
Paper lanterns have become synonymous with Chinese New Year celebrations. They were once used for more practical applications, from communicating with nearby villagers to advertising the location of a brothel. Nowadays, they can be seen filling the night sky wherever there's a festival during this special time of the lunar calendar. The lanterns are really quite beautiful, and the idea of them carrying your wishes to the heavens, that's pretty cool. After recharging my batteries in the quiet mountains of the countryside, it was back to the chaos and neon lights of Taipei for another unique experience.
This building is the head office of the Taiwan Cement Company. Now, I'm not here to learn about cement. I'm actually here to watch an opera.
This is a night at the opera unlike any other. It's called Taipei Eye and is one of the best places in the city to experience Chinese performing arts at their colourful and exotic best.
Mr. Shi has kindly offered to paint me up as a traditional character from Peking opera. Mr. Shi, what are you going to paint me as?
Monkey.
Monkey King?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Chinese opera is a form of musical theatre dating back over 1,000 years. This particular performance fuses martial arts with spectacular costuming.
Mr. Shi is almost finished and I have no idea how I look, but he told me that the Monkey King is funny, he's a bit cheeky and at times he does have a bit of a temper, but he's also very strong and he stands for the just, so that makes him a bit of a legend and that suits me perfectly. Finished? Excellent.
Now, don't go confusing the term opera to mean melodic singing, orchestral music, and a fat lady, like in the Western form of operatic performance. This is quite the opposite, with screeching falsetto voices, banging drums, clashing cymbals, and the constant clacking of clappers filling the auditorium. To knowledgeable theatregoers, it's music to their ears. But for Westerners, the attraction to this type of performance lies in the amazing costumes, dramatic facial expressions, and martial arts movements. To cap off the opera, the performers are given the opportunity to show off their skills. The level of training they have to do is mind-blowing, and many of them spend several years perfecting their movements before even being deemed worthy enough to don the makeup and take to the stage. Nighttime in Taipei is when things really start to hum. Everyone seems to emerge from the office buildings and homes and take to the street. And all roads lead here, the Shilin night markets. It's a major attraction for locals and tourists alike, and it's the busiest of the many night markets you can find in Taiwan.
Like most major cities around the world, Taipei has all the usual takeaway joints and restaurants, but if you want the real taste of Taiwan, you've got to make your way to a night market. It's kind of like tapas where you can try a whole bunch of different delicious Taiwanese dishes while you're taking in all the action. And this place is famous for oyster omelettes, so I'm going to go and try and find myself one. If I can. How on earth do you put that? Oh. Anyway, it's gonna look like that. Oh my God! I had these when I was a little kid. Only that I think they're a bit bigger. I haven't seen these for years. That's cool. What I'm trying to do is find some cool shirts to buy and get the food I'm looking for, but I keep getting distracted because there's just so much going on. Oh, sorry. Hello. Hello.
There's no shortage of toys, gadgets, games, and to be honest, random junk to be found here. Although it is a good place to buy presents for your friends and family back home. But my priority was food. After all, I'd had a big day. Mind you, a toothbrush holder would come in handy. As far as cuisine goes, you're spoilt for choice. There's everything from noodles and soup to sweets and dim sums. The hard part is choosing what to eat. There's a bit of showmanship to cooking at the markets. It's part of the attraction of coming here for dinner. This bloke had some pretty slick moves.
Just a little thing of fried stinky tofu.
I quite literally followed my nose to this little stall. It serves one of the local delicacies, the aptly named stinky tofu.
Alright, just bought myself some fried stinky tofu. Oh, lives up to its name. Really good. Really good. Beautiful.
With my entree out of the way, it was time for the main course, the legendary oyster omelette. Now, I've been told what this dish lacks in appearance, it more than makes up for in taste. I certainly hope that's the case because it looks pretty darn ugly.
Alright, I've just ordered the oyster omelette. It's obviously got egg in it, it's got lettuce in it, and of course, oysters. Can't wait.
The ingredients weren't too conventional, and I had to say I started questioning my choice. Those oysters didn't look so good. No, too late now. I paid my money and I was committed. Watching this bloke work reminded me of the guys back at the Dumpling restaurant. He was churning out omelettes at a rate of knots, and the way he swung his spatula around the hot plate made it look like it was part of his body. It was very impressive.
Alright, oyster omelette and pig sauce. Let's start with the most important part, the oyster. That was beautiful. To be honest, I was actually expecting the worst. I thought this would taste horrible, but it is beautiful. It is really good. Good on the Taiwanese. Food is so good.
So there you have it. The fabled oyster omelette is a winner. As the night was coming to an end, so too was my time in Taipei. By now, I was exhausted, and all I really wanted to do was hit the sack. Now that kid has the right idea, although I reckon he'd have a sore neck in the morning. With my bags packed, I made my way to the central train station to catch a bullet train out of Taipei. It's the quickest and most inexpensive way for a solo traveller to head down the west coast. The station is pretty easy to get around, and although the board is covered in destinations, it doesn't take long to figure out which platform to go to. Like I said earlier, the rail network in Taiwan is similar to Japan, really efficient. It's also clean, comfortable and modern, but best of all, it's quiet, so you can get a nap while in transit. Sleep is always high on the agenda when I'm travelling. But if you're one to make the most of your daylight hours, then make sure you get a window seat so you can enjoy the passing scenery. But be warned, in one of these trains, it passes very quickly. Next time on the Travel Bug, I'll be exploring the south of Taiwan, getting more of a taste of the traditional way of life and seeing all the sights. I'll be heading to spectacular temples and taking part in insane Chinese New Year celebrations, before making my way to the hills to see the mountain wilderness and enjoying the natural wonders of this special little island. They say it's not until you leave Taipei and explore the rest of the island that the real Taiwan starts to fully unfold and you get a true appreciation of how unique a place it is. So with that in mind, it was time to relax and read a few pages of my book, write Mum a postcard, and then kick back for a well-earned nap. For more information on this or any other episode of The Travel Bug, log on to thetravelbugtv.com and you can find out where I'm heading to next.